What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me. You are in the zone, the gaming zone with Lacan, and we are back in StarRupture. So I had a lot of fun off camera playing this game. We left off getting the core leveled up, which we sorely needed to be able to expand the base a little bit more. And I expanded the base a lot bit more. Well, you know, within the constraints of what we have, because the area doesn't go up with the base core level up, so you're still stuck with the same amount of space that you had before. But I did get these in, so we got a third one of these. What is this? The pressurizer. One dedicated for creating the what is this? The pressurized helium, and then the other two for creating this sulfuric acid. We have this with a connector going out to a dispatcher, cargo dispatcher, right? And we got these resources going out to another base somewhere out there, so that we can process them further into the more advanced material using, oh yeah, you can see I'm so close to overloading the base again after we just leveled it up. We just got finished leveling it up, and I'm back to almost like maximum core level. And I'll show you guys why here in a second. But we are using not the assembler, the compounder in the other areas to make some of the more advanced stuff. We are going to need to use the assembler at some point, but we're going to get the compounder stuff first, and then just work our way up to that other stuff, which it's a lot. And we got a jam. I don't know why we got a jam. Let's see. Where we jammed at? Where jams are? Right here. Really? Okay. So that's leading into like the area that the stuff that I want to show you why our base core is almost at max again. So I was able to get the furnace V2, so we got that. I do have those out now. I was going to try to replace some of our furnaces that we currently have with them, but with these V2s, Fabricator was the same way. It doesn't allow you to make all of the same things, so you can't just replace one-to-one like all of your V1 machines, because then you won't be able to make everything that you need to make. So I did add them. I did add them to the upgraded, the expanded area, so that we could have them. They essentially, let me see, improve the basic production building, utilizes heat to make, offers optimized recipes designed for a higher production output, so it produces more stuff. But the cost of it is that it uses more material for it. And I'll show you guys that here in a moment. But let's go to this expanded area. So see the belt. This is belt that's been here. This rail, I mean, has been here since forever, right? And now it has this little expansion right here that's connecting it to it. And then we see that we have this going out this way, where our jam probably exists, is where our gem's probably at. But coming out here, you can see that we have furnaces all over the place out here. So in order for me to get that V2, we had to place about, was it 30 furnaces or something like that, something crazy like that. So I had a ton of space out this way, so I thought I just put some furnaces out here. And I did. I put a ton of furnaces, not just furnaces, but we got dispatchers all over here. Not all of them being used. I think over here right now, only one of these is actually actively being used. This one here. Sending out the, pardon, what is this? The hardening agent. Yeah. Okay. So that's to send that out, and we got these here available for when we're ready to start adding more to send out to dispatch. We also, if you can see in the distance there, we got a few more dispatchers out that way. So we got a ton of dispatchers. In our last video, we kind of guesstimated that we were going to need probably about, was it 12 to 14 or so of these dispatchers to send out all the different materials that we were going to need for the next area to process. So here we go. We got those are storages. We have in this, we got three rows, right? 3 rows of furnaces. This row has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 furnaces on this row. And then over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it matches it on the other side. So that's 14 plus this 8. So that's 22, right? 22 furnaces over here. 6 of those are the V2. So this is the V2 right here. I have the V2 set up to make chemicals. Now, this, I think, is the typical, for making chemicals. What is it? Almost fell. So if I come over here and make chemicals, yeah, so this is what you would basically need for making chemicals. With the V2, it adds in the goethite bars, or the goethite ingots. So that is supposed to produce more chemicals. I have right now these 3. I got the inputs coming in to here, and looks like this is where we got the stoppage here. What is it that we got waiting to come in? What is that? Is that helium? So if I take out the helium, this one will be backed up. I'll take out their helium. Okay. So that should it. Not probably. This is the V2. So I'll take that helium. Okay. If I remember right, we were struggling to get helium over here. So I think I put some in there just to kind of give it a chance. A better chance, and I guess it kind of caught up, but we still need to get the wolfram powder, so hopefully that'll start loading up pretty soon. Anyways, so we got a total of 22, right, furnaces over here. With them, I got these 3 making the same thing, and they're all going into the one storage here. On this one, I have these three making the same thing, and they're going into this storage here, which is already full. And then I got these two here making the same thing, and they're coming up into here. And then these two making the same thing and going into here. output for the ones that are coming from this side are going down, around, and out. For the storages coming from here, the output's coming here, coming out, and then down and around. So we got this fairly well set up so that hopefully it doesn't cause belt congestion too much. Yeah, these are all on. I think I remember we were struggling with ceramics against ceramics. This, so I don't have to worry about falling. 3. These are making. This is off. This is supposed to be electronics. I wanted to try to get a storage of these things going before I actually started anything. That's the housing. Housing's full up. So this gave me the opportunity to take a lot of the materials that I was storing in the V1 storage over there and put them into these V2 storages over here. I do have some duplications. But yeah, I'm getting all that worked out. So So this is what is causing the strain on our core, is this setup, which is like I said, is pretty massive addition. And then on top of that, we have this side set up. I put a tier 2 V2 furnace over here. I think I'm saving, yeah. I put a V2 furnace over here to make the calcium powder, because that's one of the items that you can make over here at a higher rate. That and the wolfram powder, but I don't know that I had the space to put 2 V2s over here. I don't think I, no. Yeah, these are, oh no, this is V2. Okay. So I could have technically used the V2 for both the wolfram powder and the ceramics and the calcium dust, but I just couldn't fit all 3 of them in here. They take up a lot more space. So anyway, so we got this like normal. That's normal. We don't got V2 storage for these, unfortunately, just yet. But you'll see here that we got some dispatchers over here. So if I need to do any ceramics to dispatch somewhere, if I need to do any wolfram powder, calcium dust, I have these guys set up ready to take them in. Currently, however, I am taking in the calcium sheets, calcite sheets, in this one. So there's that. I expanded this out too. I don't have these connected to anything, but I intend to potentially even maybe add another, maybe if I need to, so that if I need anything from one of these higher tiered resources, I can plug them into this and send them off to wherever they need to go. So that's a lot. It is a lot I added over onto this base, and like you saw, I fully and completely burned through all of my my cooling on that core, man. Like I got it overloaded. It is working its tail off right now. So we're gonna have to end up leveling that up again, but as you saw with the last one, each level up, monsters, the vermin are gonna get more difficult. I like this setup here. It's easier for me to defend as long as I allow the vermin come up here. This thing it appears to have a longer range, but even if it's not, it's been kicking some major butt at this placement right here. So a lot of the spitters that just kind of sat out in the distance and just bombarded our base core, they're within range of this now. So this thing is able to take them, but it does take up around the assault. So I need to get some backup to this so they're able to cover each other and then assist each other. But I also need to place this over there on the other base to you know, so that we can actually, that base I'm not too concerned about. It does give me issues whenever oh, that's right, I did do a receiver over here so that we can receive the go fight, so that we can send that off and put it into the system as well. So anyway, so that base, when it gets whenever I get attacked from that spot, that direction over there, this base it goes like they capture it, which allows them to produce more of them. But it's manageable. I can usually defend pretty safely this base from those guys over there, as long as I don't venture out too far. If I go over there, somehow the vermin get behind me, and then they go and they attack this.
I need to drink something.
And I need to make some more food.
Tasty.
Jeez. Okay, so those were the struggles. I'm like I said, I may end up having to put some defense turrets out there, out that way, just so that we can not have to worry about that base as much anymore. But in addition to all of that I did over here, all of this, I've added all of these out here too. So you see base core there. That base core y'all saw, that's the one that's doing our go fight with the wolf round to make those bars. This one's new.
I'm detecting
There's
increased
one out there.
rupture activity.
Of course.
Prepare for a wave.
There's one right there, one out there, everyone out there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new bases over here. And the intent is to take and funnel the lower tier stuff to make the higher tier, and then to funnel that higher tier stuff inwards more to get further processed into higher tier stuff before getting that to wherever it needs to go. But we got the first base started, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to show you guys just yet, but thanks to the power of the editing tool, you guys won't have to wait for this to end. So I'll be right back over at the new base, and I'll show you guys, give you a little tour of that. Also, before we go back out, and it's about to cool
Planetary
down,
temperature within acceptable parameters.
before I head out, I did want to point out that I did do a little bit more with the storage here. And now I know that storage really, interior storage is not really terribly necessary. This extra stuff has come in handy in some places. So it's been nice to have, and it's been nice, like if I go out and do some switching of furnaces or whatever, and I get extra material on me, to have a place for them inside here. I could just dump them off in case I need it later. But one of the things that has been giving me the biggest headache has been these limbs, because we get so many of them when we go out and about, and it just got a ton of helium. Anyways, as we go out and about, we get a ton of them. I had this thing filled up. I had to put it just in random places in these other storages, just because I didn't have a spot for it. And even though you had some limbs and they have a marker on there that says like the stack total size, which typically is just one because you can't add more to it, like the limbs don't stack, which sucks. So even though you got some limbs that are the same, they do not stack for whatever reason. So they just fill up and they fill up and they fill up. And I could probably just leave them to burn in a rupture or just not pick them up and all that stuff, but I have been. And so now I went ahead and made some storage space for them. So you got these here. I got the movement limbs here. Extra spot next to it if I have any overflow. Extra spot underneath it if I have overflow. Then I got the survival limbs over here. Extra spot, extra spot, extra spot, and then combat limbs here. And then extra spaces for those. So we got a better setup with regards to our storage, our inside storage or whatever. Still a little bit more cleaning up that I need to do in there, but for the most part we're looking a whole lot better than we were. So let's go over, since it's so close, there's no need to, oh no, we're gonna have to fix that. Oh no. We're gonna have to fix it. Oh man. Okay, that's it. That's cool. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, so we're coming over here to our base. This is linear production base number 1. It's next to the satellite dish that we had over here at the very beginning, but we got this receiver here. We even got it named the hardening agent receiver. It makes it easier to find from the other end. You know, when we're trying to send stuff, we know exactly what it is. So we got this storage for that. And then it goes down there to be taken up in production. Sulfuric acid is struggling over here as well. We're really struggling with sulfuric acid. We need to get those that built up, but I'll have to go back and look at it. It's the chemicals that we're hurting with, and it's because we're not getting the wolfram powder and the helium to it for some reason. I'd imagine that is because I need to increase the priority on those 2 furnaces, or the 3 furnaces. I need to increase the priority on them, and that should hopefully get a little bit more resources out to them. But anyways, so we got that. We got the calcite sheets. We got the pressurized helium, the goethite, and calcium dust powder or whatever. So we got those going out. They're coming down here to these roundabouts, and the roundabouts will either send it in or bring it over here, send it in, or bring it over there, send it in, and then it comes both ways. So, and then over here, these are our compounders. There's only 3 things that we can make right now with the materials that we have, and that's this, the synthetic resin. We're working on filling up on that. That one's already full up. Okay, and this one was making the liquid helium, but it looks like we're full up on that, which is cool. And then this is already full up. This goethite powder is full up. Excellent. Okay, so we're still just on the struggle bus with this, and I'd imagine it's mostly because of the sulfuric acid. Although it does show that I'm low on the calcite sheets, which is pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure I have a ton of that. And this was full, wasn't it? Yeah. So, I don't know what's going on there. Now this, I didn't understand. Like, I thought... Okay. I guess all of these connectors have to go someplace different. Because I thought that, like, I could just split these up. Like, this comes in a roundabout and it takes one, but they all just take the same thing. They all just take this one, which I guess I understand to a degree, but I wish it would divide the resources up a little better to use more of the rails instead of just the one. But it is what it is. They're all going in. We're making our synthetic resin. Hopefully we get full of that, and then once we get a good setting with this, which we're already pretty much there, these will go off because this base is also almost at capacity, but this is just a tier 1. If I wanted to take it up to a tier 2, I potentially could. I'm pretty sure I have the resources for it, maybe. But my concern then would be, if I do decide to level it up, will that open me up to raids to multiple bases? Which I don't want to have to deal with that. If I can avoid that, I would like to. I would very much like to. So right now I'm looking at bringing the stuff that I'm producing from here to the next base over, because the compounder, the next tier up, utilizes these 3 base resources. So come here, we see that the lens requires synthetic resin, hardening agent. This nanofiber, the liquid helium. plus a tube and a wolfram or wire. Applicator, or this injector takes materials that we don't have. We don't have either one of those. Well, we have the applicator, but we don't have the other two. So I was essentially taking these and ordering them. It'd be nice if I could manually do this myself so that I can kind of see it a little easier. But this essentially was the tier 1 for the compounder, because this just used resources that I had that I'm able to produce.
The Raptura is in its stable stage.
Same with the
The
helium.
climate of Arcadia is
I was able to
returning to
produce all
normal.
those. Go fight outside of the ingot. I mean, even with the ingot, I'm able to produce all that. So that didn't really require more of an advanced thing, advanced product. So these 3 I was able to make without any.
Thank you, Cecilia Najera Garcia, for your follow. Your support means the world to us. Keep shining.
Hey Cecilia, thank you so much for the follow. Y'all are awesome. I love it. So again, so these essentially to me are the tier 1 for the compounder. The tier 2 would be the ones that utilize these and just the normal stuff that I can make, like this one right here. To me would be tier 2 because I can make glass, I can make the hardening agent, we're using it now, and then we're just now making the resin. So this will go further down. It'd be the next step down the line. Same with this one. I make the tubes, make the wire. I just got to get them there. That would probably be more of a tier 3, maybe even tier 4, depending on where that electromagnet falls in. That might even be part of the assembler because I'm not seeing it here. So these 2 right here, I wouldn't even be able to touch this yet. That's further down the line. This one uses the liquid helium and the graphite powder and the synthetic resin. So all this, the tier 1 stuff to make this. So this will fall under tier 2. So tier 2, tier 2, tier 2. That's 3. This one, same thing.
Arcadia
Tier
7
2
has finished regenerating.
This one uses refined oil. We don't have refined oil yet. It would be a tier 2 if we did. But it's one that I can't focus on just now because I don't have refined oil. This one would be tier 2. Can't touch it. Tier 2 aerogel, and then this one would be further down the line because we can't make any of that other stuff. Organic well, no, I take that back. So this will probably be tier 3 for sure because it takes the organic compound and then the substance right here. Yep. So this and this, and we can't do organic compound yet because we don't have refined oil, but we can do the substance thing. So this potentially would be tier 3. And then those other ones, the other 2 that like we don't even got, we're not even making those materials yet, like this one here and this one here, especially this one. Those will be like a tier 4 thing. So this space is handling the tier 1 stuff. Next space will handle the tier 2, which is actually a lot more than I thought would be originally. So we're going to have to look at how I'm going to have to divide that process up. If I'm going to have to level up that core, because this one here is like y'all saw is maxed out. It maxed out. The only reason why it didn't show maxed out when we looked at it is because I added these amplifiers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 amplifiers here. So we got a total of 11 amplifiers here to make this base core not be maxed out. So, and that is with check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 storages, and then the 3 compounders with their storage. So if I wanted to be able to do what I needed to do on the next space over, it would have to be at a minimum this. Whoa, are we getting attacked over there? Made it to the main base yet. Get that. But anyway, so for the second base, actually let me come back over here. I'll go over there and get that later. We're not worried about the calcium we got a ton of, so we're not too worried about it. I'll go over there and get that fixed up. But in the compounder, we had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tier 2 items. We know that we can get 3 compounders here. So that means that we're going to have to send some stuff off to another base. So we can do at max 3 compounders. So let's see here. With what I got here, if I were to do a launcher, dispatcher, okay, that's still, I'd be able to do the dispatcher without one dispatcher without overheating. But so I'm thinking like this is what I'm thinking. So over here, so for the tier 2 base, right, from this base it would need the synthetic resin and then potentially that hardening agent that I have here. Now I say from here because in order for me to send it from the original location over from the main base, I would need to create another dispatcher for it, which with all the dispatchers that I set up, I potentially can't do that. I'll just have to decide if that's what I want to do, or if I want to just go ahead and just divert some of the resources from here, from a rail, to the base that's just right next to it. Because we're not that far from each other. I could run some rails over to that next base. So we would need to send to base 2 glass, which we don't have over here, a hardening agent, which we do have, and then synthetic resin, which we do have. That will have to go to base 2. We would need the liquid helium from this base, and then we need to teleport from the main base a tube and wolfram wire. Those have to come from the main base. And we skip these 2, and then here, goethite powder, the helium, and then the resin are all tier 1 stuff from this. So we will have to send that from here to the second base, the tier 2 base. This one, sulfuric acid, we do have here. Again, we'd have the option to, we have the option to add another, no. So we would likely have to send the sulfuric acid from this base over to the next, which we're already sending 4 things already, potentially. So we'll have to look at sending that. Okay. Let's see. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3. And we're talking about just coming from this base. So 1, 2, 3. The hardening agent is 4, and then the sulfuric acid would be 5. Right? So that's 5 things from here that we would have to send. It looks like we would have to send, no. Wolfram powder, we're getting, do we got wolfram powder over here? I don't think so. No, okay. So, we won't have to send wolfram powder. So that's 5 items so far. And yeah, calcium powder. So that would be 6 things total that we would have to send over. Calcium powder is one that I could potentially send over from the main base. I may not. I may just go ahead and just send it through. I have the capability. I went ahead and made it so that I could extend it out that way as I need it. So we got at least 6 things that we do need to send over to base 2. So in planning this out, I have to plan for receiving from this base up to 6 items. So potentially right at the border here, come here and just click this. This lets us see the border. So right at the border, we'll need to capture the stuff into storages. So we'll need at least 6 storages here. We'll need additionally dispatchers for the rest of the items. Which was the tubing, the wolfram wire, too. And there was one more, right? There was one more. Glass, right? So glass, tubing, wolfram wire. Yep. Glass, tubing, wolfram wire, and wolfram powder. Yep. So we would need a receiver, 4 receivers for base 2. Potentially. Actually, I take that back. We wouldn't need all 4 all that to base 2 because base 2 is not going to be able to handle a compounder for each of those potentially. I'll only need 4 receivers, whereas this one has 6 total. But I will need I will need 6 plus 4, 10 total storages. We have over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 over here. Oh man, come on. That wasn't enough, so they had to come over here. So I'll need to send some powder, some sulfuric acid, hardening agent. So just 3 from up here. We need to go forward. And then we need to send those 3 down there over. So I'm mostly curious to see if I set up the infrastructure for V2 base to accept and process all those things. What does the core look like? How badly overloaded does the core get? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll do some of this may change. Like I said, I'm just really wanting to test system overload, which I'm not going to be able to just yet because I need to get more of the V2 building material. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay. So we just got back from a crash. The game crashed on us. I had to redo some of this, but we got everything going with the 4 receivers, 10 storages, and 3 compounders over there. We're at over capacity for this core. Our next step, I was trying to divide this up, this whole process up between the different bases, so that we can try to ease the work on the core and not have to worry about leveling it up. But I think we are going to have to level this up. I think it's just that we're just going to have to do it. So I went ahead and started the process for getting this core up to level 2. I think level 2 should be good enough for potentially us to get down 3 more of those. We'll need a total of 6 of these compounders to make everything that we need to make with tier 2, our tier 2 stuff. So we come up here and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And these other ones are just going to be tier 3 or just not, we're not ready for it yet. We might need the assembler before we can get them, or one of the other ones. So I'm worried about that for this and these 2 right here. But so we can do a lens at this base. If we can get all 3 of them up, we can do the lens, nanofiber, epoxy, the substance, basic fuel, and the aerogel. We can do all of those here at the base with everything that we've gotten at the tier 1 base, with a few items coming from the main base. We should be able to get these taken care of. Like I said, we just need 3 more, and right now the base core is just not happy with us. So we're already over capacity, like I said before, with that. So that's going to be the focus, is getting this base core up. Ceramics are going to be our biggest concern, because we are struggling getting ceramics out over here on the main base. I can put more furnaces on the job of making ceramics. We have access to the material. We should be able to get more systems, furnaces working on creating ceramics for us. But I think I may have to work out a more long-term process for it, because there's a lot of things utilizing the ceramics, I think is really what the issue is. I did have to switch these around because the ceramics one was having trouble getting wolfram powder from this guy here, because the wolfram powder was coming from here, going through the system, and then coming all the way over there where these guys are coming from, and then going all the way around to the system, because it didn't have a quick way to get back into this main system to feed this. And since this was all the way on the end, that was really its only way of getting here, unless I took this and then redirected that. But then anything coming from this line that needed to go further up the system, which we do have some stuff, they wouldn't be able to make that move. So what I did was, this one was our calcium powder machine. it just needs the stuff from over here, the calcium blocks or whatever from over here to work. And this one was the ceramics, so I went ahead and took this and then I tagged this in to here, and now the ceramics are able to get easily, a lot more easily, the wolfram powder that it needs to function, to operate. So hopefully that'll help a little bit more with the production of ceramics, but I'm not sure. Might be, like I said, worst comes to worst, I have access to things that I like, the resources. I can get one of these other systems working on creating ceramics, so that we can kind of help with that load a little better. I might even can do. No, that's a fabricator. Can't do ceramics. Maybe this thing. So chemicals are looking good. We got that thing full up. That's a V2 storage. How's it look over here? We got both of those filled up. I'll be very impressed with too. Nice. Okay. So out of nowhere, the ceramics started getting, or not the ceramics, the chemicals started doing really good, cranking that out. So I'm assuming that means the sulfuric acid is full. Let's run over here and check. Yeah, they're both full. Okay, so that means these two are full, as well as the one in our V1 base. So that's nice. Okay, so we're good with sulfuric acid for right now. Right now, we're good. So that's full up. This thing is full up, and then the other one that we had over there is full up. This one's filling up. Slowly but surely. I thought I had something working on that same thing over here, but I may have it turned off. This right? Yeah, these are turned off. Okay. Alright, that's cool though. That's the geotype bars. Yeah, I mean we're looking like a real factory right now. Everything seems to be going smooth. I don't see any jams, but that's mostly because some of the things aren't working. Not working. They're not on and actually pumping out and producing anything currently. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna work on getting ceramics. The helium was a ton. So I'll work on getting the helium filled out. Luckily we got a ton of helium. Like even at the base where that's producing the helium, there's so much helium. So we should be able to crank out that, or get that.
Let's see.
Taken care of pretty easy. So I'll work on that. I'll work on that off camera. We'll get that other base up to level 2, and hopefully that gives us enough core overhead so that we can go ahead and get those 3 extra compounders up without overheating the system. So yeah, that's where we're at. We'll get all that taken care of. Like I said, I'll work on a lot of the gathering and all that stuff off camera, and then by the time we come to that next video, this base should be all set up and ready to go, and then we can go ahead and move on to the V3 base potentially. We may need to take a break from it and work on satisfying some of the orders from the corporations so we can unlock some of the newer systems. But we haven't even started looking at like what we need to do with this assembly. We got this accumulator in here, and that takes electronics, stators, and batteries, which we do have. We have the ability to produce all of that over at the other base. So this thing by itself adds on to the needs for being able to export resources and import it to some other facility to get worked on. This is using a lot of the material that we make out of the mega press, and it looks like it's using some of the material from here, the compounder, as well. So yeah, it's a lot. I don't personally see how I'm going to do it without leveling up the core for the bases as well. So I may end up having to level up that base over there, put some more of this factory stuff back over that way. Yeah, and then just kind of rethink that. But for right now, we're gonna go with this. Let me get this out of here. Get that out of here. Okay. But for right now, like I said, we're just gonna go with this. We'll work all those details out in another video. In the next video, like I said, what we'll focus on is satisfying some of the requests for the corporations, so we can get some more of those blueprints and things. And then we may do a little exploring so we can find some more blueprints. We still have areas up here to check. I don't even know how this came up. Potentially over this way, although there is green mist, so I may not be able to go too far east. Some more south maybe, and west it looks like it might be blocked off at the point too, but it looks like I do have some headroom that I can get to some of this new area and see what we can find out there. Maybe hopefully some new blueprints, but I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, we're going to save that for another video. That's going to do it for the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like, please level up the video by hitting that like button, and if you haven't already, please level up the channel by hitting that subscribe. And then until next time, come back, join me again as we level up together, one game, one video at a time. This is Lakan, signing out. Peace out, everybody.